Welcome. I'm Nanice, and this is the first class of the Spiritual Awakening series. I'm so happy to share that we have friends from all over the world. For some of us, it is Friday, and for others, it is Saturday, but for everyone, it is now. So we will all meet here in this beautiful, divine now. And it is my honor to create the sacred space for us to come together. I ask that for the next hour that we share, that you let go of your thoughts and your troubles, and you become present with me in this sacred space that we create together. If you do nothing more than just listen with an open heart and an open mind, you will discover that there is a beautiful transmission of high vibration energy that is available to you, if only you open to it and say yes. As many of you know, this is a do-over class from a few days ago where we had huge technical difficulties, and it seems that our streaming audio has also gone down today, but luckily we are on Blog Talk Radio and I'm able to share this beautiful class with you in this way. So the backup plan that the universe provided was a good one. After we had the technical difficulties on Tuesday, and the class did not go on as I intended, I asked myself, what is in me that created this challenge? What is in me that created this challenge? Something that I've asked myself since the time I was very young, and it has supported me in really creating the life that I've created and coming to the answers that I have found. Because it's an inner journey. No matter what's going on the outside, it's an inner journey. And so when I asked what in me has created these issues, I was shown that I had pre-planned the show from a headspace. I had all this knowledge to give you, and it was so important to me that I wanted to share it that I missed the point, because the point is not to share from a headspace, but to share from a heart space. My son Travis said to me, "Mom, sharing your knowledge is powerful, but sharing your journey of how you acquired the knowledge, well, that's transformational." So that's what I'm going to do today, and for the remainder of the classes that we will partake in together. I'm going to share my journey. And it's been quite a journey. It's odd to talk about myself because, this really isn't about me. And I really don't have a lot of desire to even, share my story. But I do understand that it is of great value because very often when we're on this path of awakening, it really helps for someone to shine a light up above, up beyond. I sure could have used that when I was younger, indeed. So this is why I share with you. As many of you, I was pretty awake as a child. And that awakeness certainly caused lots and lots of problems, to say the very least. I was the weirdest of the weird, the most picked on of the picked on. If you could imagine, I was that kid, and I was that kid throughout all my school years and even before. By the time I was 12 years old, I had enough questions to fill an encyclopedia. And a very special thing happened when I was 12. I was able to go to the New York Public Library and take out any books on any subjects that I could. And at 12 years old, you could see me walking around with books on parapsychology and psychology and astral projection and meditation and reincarnation and everything that you could imagine. Of course, it did not do much for my popularity, but it truly began my conscious journey of truly waking up and awakening. Not just this odd experience of being awake as I was younger, but really putting consciousness to the experience, because awakening is a multi-level experience. Well, that began an amazing journey of knowledge, but there were still many things missing. And one of those things that was missing very much at a deep level was my worth, my self-worth. And at 16 years old, as a result of that, I found myself in an extremely abusive relationship. Of course, I didn't understand that connection until many years later, but it was definitely a challenge, and it definitely began to wake me up in very, very different ways. It began to wake me up on the physical realms and the emotional realms and many other ways. By the time I was 17, I found myself unexpectedly pregnant and decided to have the baby, which was a turning point in my life because I asked myself, what is it that I want to give my child? And the answer was so simple. It was self-esteem. Well, I did not have it for myself, so I had to figure out how to get it. And there embarked another journey within the journey, my journey of discovering and finding self-esteem for myself. And that journey continued for many, many years. And part of the challenges were overcoming depression, emotional pain, physical challenges. This was all through my 20s. I wanted to wake up. I wanted to stop the pain. Can you relate? Well, about 11 years ago, and I should say that the journey was up and down. I had wonderful years of just being alive and full of life, but always there was a sense that came back to like something is missing and it would not go away. And even when I was doing well in my life, there was still a sense that something was missing. About 11 years ago, I was down in Zions National Park in southern Utah. And I couldn't sleep one night. And I got in my car and I went driving through this long, dark tunnel. And when I came out the other side, there was a place to park. And I parked my car and I got out and I walked over to the edge of this ledge. I was very brave because it was very dark. And I sat on the edge of the ledge and I hung my legs over. And this was a time of great emotional pain and confusion for me. And there I sat. It was about 2, 3 a.m. I sat all by myself in the pitch blackness. And I can tell that this cliff was very high up because I could hear water falling, hitting way down below. And as I sat there, I yelled out into the canyon, "I want to wake up! I want to wake up!" And I heard a very distinct voice. Although it wasn't a tangible voice, it was a distinct voice, maybe from deep inside me or way up in the cosmos. And the voice said, "Jump." Jump, it said. Well, that scared me because I did not want to die. I wanted to wake up in life. And so I slowly crawled away from the edge of the cliff. But I always wondered, what did that voice mean? What did the voice mean when it said jump? This journey to awakening that has taken me decades has allowed me to travel through uncountable numbers of books on various subjects, infinite teachers, workshops, everything that I could get my hands on, including going to most of the sacred sites on this planet looking for the answers. And though I found answers, this idea of awakening, it still eluded me. I just couldn't seem to wake up. And then finally, out of desperation, I did something that I thought I would never do. I went to the Amazon. I went to the Amazon in Peru, and I drank the sacred tea. Now, at the time, I was very scared to do so. But I didn't know what else to do because I had tried everything for most of my life. Well, this experience, which was a multiple experience, set me on an intense process of not just awakening, but integrating what awakening really was. And it brought up much confusion and uncertainty and issues and you name it. But I was waking up. I was finally waking up. My family thought I was crazy. I'm sure everybody thought I was crazy. Because, of course, when you start to discover something, you want to share it. And if other people are not at that same level, then they just don't get it. And that's okay. I found myself alienated from my friends and especially from my family. And at some point I realized that I was going to have to really go this alone. And so I got really quiet with what I was experiencing. And you might say that I woke up alone. What I now understand is that the awakening process is an alone process. Once I finally could say to myself that I had experienced awakening, there was a huge question. And that question, which haunted me for quite a long time, was, now what? Now what? Now what do I do with this? It was much more complicated than I had ever anticipated it to be in the most simplest of ways. Finally, I asked myself, you're probably noticing that a key here is asking yourself the right questions. Finally, I asked myself, what's really important in this dream state? What's really important to me? And I realized that what was most important to me was my family, above and beyond all else, my children, my sacred family, my sacred children. And I realized that I wasn't going to go without them, that the journey, my life, had no meaning without my family. And so I made a very quiet and conscious decision that we're all going to go together or I'm not going. And when I say going, I don't mean it on a tangible level. I mean on a much, much deeper level. I made this commitment to myself and I made this commitment to them, even though I never said anything. And then the most amazing thing happened. One by one, each member of my family began to wake up. And at some point I realized that my journey of awakening was also my family's journey of awakening. And it doesn't get more beautiful than that. I know that as you are awakening in your own life, many of you are feeling the same things that I felt. Alone, alienated, confused. But stay the course. It doesn't just get better, it gets really great. You see, everyone is waking up. Everyone! Some of us have just gotten the privilege of waking up sooner. And with that privilege comes an opportunity that looks like a challenge. And when we embrace this opportunity without resistance, it lifts us up and delivers us to who we really are. And this is the magnificence of the journey that we call life. There are, of course, many journeys within journeys, and right now you and I are embarking on a 12-week journey where we'll meet every other week for a total of 6 sessions. My intention for our time together is for you to discover at deeper and deeper levels who you really are, and that you embrace the power of your being, that you raise your vibration, and you learn to consciously create. Many of you have studied spirituality and personal development for many years. Well, now you're ready to put what you know into practice and ultimately live the life you came here to live. Others are just waking up and just discovering. And this is a powerful time to be alive, nonetheless, wherever you are on your path. This truly is the time of awakening, global and personal awakening. You may wonder why we are asleep in the first place. Well, you might say that it's part of the journey from unconsciousness to consciousness. But it's also because there are great gifts in being asleep. If we came in totally awake, we would not have the same experience. We would not have the same interconnections with life and with feelings and with each other. And it's also because if we come in awake, it can be shocking to the system. When my 5-year-old grandson was first born, for the first few weeks of his life, I would look into his eyes and he'd have this look on his face and it was saying, what have I done? Why am I in this dense physical body? And he wasn't a happy little camper. And then something happened. I can almost tell you the exact moment it happened, a few weeks after he was born. He began to go to sleep. I watched him. He went to sleep and he forgot who he really was. And in forgetting who he really was, he was able to integrate into this beautiful little soft baby's body. And he was able to have the experience of what it is to be human, what it is to be in the physical world. There are gifts to being asleep. And of course, there are gifts to waking up. The bottom line is we are meant to be happy, and ultimately spirituality and spiritual evolution should bring us happiness and peace. For many, this is why we seek the path. As we begin this journey together, I invite you to take a deep breath right now. A breath that clears your energy so that you may receive higher and higher vibrations. Imagine that there is a beautiful light out in the cosmos, a beautiful sunlight of love, And this light is directed upon you now. And as you become aware of it, you're invited down into your crown chakra, the top of your head, and this light very gently and effortlessly moves down through your head, through your neck, through your shoulders, through your heart, all the way down through your torso, into your legs, into your feet, through the soles of your feet, and into Mother Earth, grounding you to the power and purity of the Mother who loves each of us and who has birthed each of us. And breathe. And breathe. If you've been on the spiritual path, you've probably heard the teachings that direct you to ask the question, who am I? Who am I? This is such a valuable question, because if you keep asking it, eventually you do arrive at the truth. I want to add to that. If your past was forgotten, if you just had complete amnesia of your past, who would you be right now? How much of your life is past-oriented, with roles, identities, so much of not who you really are? Think about that for a moment. This is where it gets a bit tricky, because the awakened state involves letting go of identity and of roles, yet the you that you know yourself to be is still expressed, so you don't disappear. You are unique and beautiful. And of all the beings in the universe, all the billions of beings on this planet right now, all the billions of beings who have ever lived and who will ever live, there's only one you. And your only job, your sole purpose, is simply to be who you really are, expressed through your personality, through your likes, through your roles, through your identities. The key is simply to remember who you are beneath and beyond all that. In the awakened state, you become more of who you really are. You can still play these roles and express your identities, but you know yourself as something so much more. Breathe. One of the things that's become so confusing in awakening is the different types of awakening. When we say awakening, it can mean so many different things. There's the global awakening to the issues and problems that are going on in the world. There is an energetic awakening through chakras and kundalini. There is a mental awakening of knowledge. There is multiple layers of awakening. Full awakening I would describe as waking up out of the dream, whereas global awakening and energetic awakening, it's still in the dream. Full awakening encompasses that, may or may not encompass that, I should say, but it is the awareness of the dream state and who you really are. Even when we arrive at that full awakening, there is still other aspects to be considered. In fact, there are two experiences of full spiritual awakening. There is full spiritual awakening that is really about letting go of attachment. And Eckhart Tolle would be a great example of this. His wonderful teachings, if I were to say an overview, is about just letting go and allowing life to flow. So beautiful. But even finding that for myself, I felt like something was missing, like that wasn't the whole picture. And so I kept going on because I felt there was something more. And there is. What I discovered that even beyond a full awakening of detachment and living in the now, that there is an experience of full awakening where you become the conscious creator of your life. So instead of just taking what life has to give you, that you actually can consciously create what you want. I thought that was great news. And have spent the last many years mastering what that means. And this is one of the many things that I want to show you over our time together in the next weeks. And I'm so excited to share this. So excited. Because if we think that awakening is just sitting on a rock and being detached, it's not very appealing. But when you discover that there's something further, and that from the awakened state, if you so choose, because you might choose to sit on that rock from a state of allowing and living in the now, but if there's a calling for something more, you also have the opportunity to consciously create your life from the fully awakened state. How awesome is that? You might be thinking, well, what keeps us asleep? The list is quite long. Foods that we eat, processed foods, toxic foods, the addictions that we have, pharmaceuticals, fluoride in the water, toxins in the environment, GMOs, vaccinations, all of this. And of course, TV and media is designed to keep us asleep as well. But there's more. Not being in the body, not listening to your heart or to your life, not releasing issues, and of course, being influenced by all these external sources that are designed to keep us asleep. Everything that we hold on to keeps us asleep. Wherever you are checking out in your life, you are asleep. And the more you check out, the less awake you are. To wake up, you must get in your body. The process of spiritual awakening happens through and in the body. Full spiritual awakening is not just spiritual. Spiritual encompasses the physical, the mental, the emotional, the energetic, and the heart. Full spiritual awakening happens through the heart. In fact, emotions are key. When you feel bad or think thoughts or have emotions that your higher self would not have, you know that you're moving away from awakening. There are signs all around us, and we will explore all these signs. Even with all this, even with everything that is designed and accidentally keeping us asleep, even with all this, we're still waking up. You are waking up. We are all waking up. The world and everyone in it is waking up. So you might think, well, then why do things seem so grim? Whenever there is a shift or an awakening, there's always resistance to this awakening. And we can say, well, it's the outside world, it's the global forces, all of that. But whatever happens in the outside world is always a representation, a symbol of what's going on inside of us. In other words, if there's a force outside you that's trying to keep you asleep, it represents the part of you that is keeping you asleep. The good news is you don't need to worry about what anyone else is doing. This is a journey of one with billions of different outcomes. In fact, there are different versions of reality for every being on the planet. If you are in this class today, you are one of the first to awaken. Maybe you've been awake for a long time, or maybe you're just waking up now. Nonetheless, you are one of the first, and often it is challenging to be one of the first, and I want to acknowledge you for this. I want to acknowledge you for taking this sometimes very challenging journey, and I also want to shed the light at the end of the tunnel, which is coming soon if you haven't already found it. They say that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. But what does this mean? Well, life is spiritual. Like, this is it. This is spirituality. It's not something separate than us. It is us, and it is life, and it is every single moment of your life. The dream of life is a spiritual dream. And even when we experience the most challenging or horrendous of things, it is still spiritual. We get lost in our stories, which of course are our beliefs about our lives. And so we lose the essence of our spiritual selves. But that essence nonetheless still runs the show. Who you are is always there, regardless of who you think you are on any basis from day to day. The thing is, life is always paying attention to you, and life is spiritual, 24/7. The key is learning to listen to life and learning to speak the language of life.
This is a two-way conversation, and this series will show you exactly how to do that, how to communicate with life and how to be in communion with life. One of the questions that we often have on the path to awakening is, what is it? What wakes us up? There are many things that wake us up. I've often thought maybe there's an alarm clock in each one of us that goes off at a moment that wakes us up. I don't know if that's true or not. I do know that there are other things that are most certainly waking us up. Many of us who are sensitive to energies are aware of higher frequencies coming into the planet that have been coming in for a long time. Even the solar flares bring these higher frequencies in. This is a wake-up call as well. It wakes us up on deep, deep levels. But if we're only waking up on certain levels, if we're only like physically waking up or mentally waking up and we're not emotionally waking up, then it creates huge challenges in our lives. Again, the awakening must happen on all these different levels. The physical, the emotional, the energetic, the heart, all these levels encompass full awakening. Our problems, our issues, and our challenges are also designed to wake us up. In many cases, they show us where we are asleep by causing us increasing pain and discomfort until we pay attention and we make shifts or begin to awaken. We live in a self-adjusting universe. Pain is designed to wake us up. Pain is not a punishment. It's not karma. It's designed to wake us up. The best way in which I can describe the self-adjusting universe is that when we move too far away from love and harmony and unity, there is pain, emotional pain, physical pain. There's deep pain within our beings, and we don't want to be in pain. It's in our coding. And so at some point that pain gets so unbearable that we decide to take a different course, a different path, a different journey, and we turn around. And very often that journey is towards awakening, even if we know it or not. And that journey is always towards love and away from fear. So you might say that in the self-adjusting universe, the more towards fear we get, the more painful it becomes. And eventually that pain will cause us to swing around and move back towards love and awakening. You might also say that we're on a journey from unconsciousness to consciousness, and our problems and our issues and our challenges are designed to make us conscious and pay attention. This means that no matter where you are on the journey and no matter what you're experiencing in your life is guiding you to awakening. You can't do this wrong. You can't do this wrong. Even if you were to do nothing, you would still be doing it completely right. And maybe even doing nothing would be more right. The irony of the universe. Because this is an inward journey, it's often, I dare to say, always a lonely journey. Because it's a journey towards self. I fought that aloneness in my life for a long time, and now I can look back and I can see that truly was part of the path. But what happens on the other side of that is the aloneness dissolves into all oneness. And you have an experience of not only not being alone, but being one with everyone, with the people you love and the people you don't even know, with the world at large. This is that experience of oneness that they talk about. It's on the other side of aloneness. If you write down the word alone and you separate the L from the O and you add another L, it's all one. And it would be fun to even play with that if you have a pen and a piece of paper in front of you. We are all one. What's interesting is that once my family woke up and I was able to have deeper conversations with them, what I discovered that all the time, the years that they thought I was crazy, and I probably was, they were having very powerful spiritual experiences of awakening that they never shared with me. I wondered Why did they not? It would have made my experience so much easier, and maybe theirs as well. And what I now understand is that it's meant to be an alone journey. Like, the journey to awakening is something that you could only do alone. And if I had known that they were also going through this experience, that it would have changed my experience and might have even impeded my experience of awakening. The funny part about all this is that a couple of years ago, that my then 18-year-old son, Travis, he said to me, "Mom, it must have really sucked when we all thought that you were crazy." And I said, "It did. But you know what? I now get that was part of the journey, and I wouldn't have given it up for anything. Not for anything." I once had a conversation with a friend who told me that I was the only one that he could talk to about awakening and spirituality. In fact, I've had so many people say this to me over the years, friends and coaching clients and even people I randomly meet. And the interesting thing is that this first friend that I mentioned a moment ago, I had the opportunity one day of meeting one of his friends and spending several hours with his friend. And his friend confided the same thing in me. He said, "I don't have anybody to talk to. You're the only one." And I scratched my head and I thought, wow, here are two friends that think they're the only one going through this experience when they could so easily connect and talk with each other. I share this because there might be people in your life now that are also going through an awakening process, but they haven't shared with you. So even though you think you're all alone, there are likely many people in your life that you know, and maybe even very well, they're also going through their own personal process of awakening. And this doesn't mean that you should go harass them to sharing their process or start telling the world about yours. What this means is hold true to your path, that ultimately you will not be alone, and you will be living in a family, whether that's a physical family or a family of like-minded people, a world where you share wakefulness. And I have to tell you, from the inside, being inside a family that's awake, there's nothing better. It's the bomb. It's amazing. Every single day I thank the divine. The point is, everyone around you is waking up, and we are not alone. In this journey of awakening, part of the support that I want to give to you is to show you how life works. How is life created? Of course, this is not necessary. Awakening happens on its own. But I do believe that this is really helpful to understand so that you can start working with the process. And I don't even like the word workings. And that reminds me to say that don't take any of my words literal. Find out the truth for yourself, because you have the same access to the same source that woke me up. And that source can provide you with everything that you need in your journey. So how is life created? Well, all of life and everything that you experience in your life is a projection of your subconscious mind. Everything in your reality is your own personal subconscious mind projecting it outward. Think about this for a second. Is there anything in your life that you don't experience through your own consciousness? Even if you know the answer to this, I invite you to actually practice it. Look around in your life. The rest of today, tomorrow, look around. Try to find something that you are not conscious of through your own consciousness. It's impossible. Everything that you experience is done through your consciousness. Whether that's on a physical, emotional, energetic, mental level, it's all done through your consciousness. The best way to explain how life operates via the projection of our subconscious mind is to look at our nighttime dreams. In fact, I believe that part of the purpose of nighttime dreams is to demonstrate to us how the dream of life actually operates. When you have a nighttime dream, Everything in that dream is a reflection of you, good, bad, and indifference. Every person in that dream, even if it's somebody you know in real life, somebody you don't know, it's still your subconscious mind projecting that person or those people or that situation. Every element of your nighttime dream is a projection of your subconscious mind. As it is in the nighttime dream world, it is in the daytime dream world. Life operates in much the same way. And this gives us great power. If you have ever analyzed your dreams, you know that you look at the elements of your dreams and the situation to understand something greater about yourself. Life is designed in exactly the same way. And this is fantastic news, because this means that you can use your personal life to help wake you up. That you can use the symbols, and everything's a symbol in your life, to help you understand where you're asleep, and you can allow it to wake you up by placing your consciousness upon it. Life is intrinsically designed with all the keys and clues for awakening. In fact, your life is conspiring for your awakening. Even in the ways that it keeps you asleep, it is conspiring for your awakening. The truth is always in the dichotomies. Many of us on the spiritual path have at least stumbled upon the law of attraction. The law of attraction is very misunderstood, but the bottom line is everything that you attract into your life is attracted by your subconscious mind. And we'll talk more about this in later classes. The subconscious mind is like a storehouse that contains all your beliefs. Beliefs are simply thoughts that we believe. Beliefs are simply thoughts that we believe. If you have a thought and you believe it, it's a belief. Strong beliefs are a series of strong thoughts that we believe. Every thought and every belief, it's only true because we believe it, which means that all thoughts and all beliefs are not true. Every thought and every belief also holds a vibration, a frequency. You can see this by even the feeling of when you love something, or when you think about loving something, versus when you're afraid of it. The way in which life manifests is through vibrations. We know we live in a vibrational universe. We've known this for a very, very long time. Vibrations are what manifests in the physical world. And these manifestations include people, places, things, experiences, situations, everything. Even our physical bodies are a result of vibrational manifestation. Everything is directly affected by this vibration. This vibration creates, this vibration affects, and this vibration is created and controlled by each of us through our thoughts and beliefs that we hold to be true. In other words, your life is created through the vibrations that you put out by holding the thoughts and beliefs, and especially the ones that you do on a daily basis and have a pattern of thinking and believing. Where it gets a little challenging at times is that we also have a lot of programs running us. And programs are systems of belief that were put in when we were children, or even that we inherited from our parents. Maybe our parents had a program of depression. If they grew up or lived during the Depression, that program, which is a belief system, is passed down to us. Now we have a program of depression running, program of scarcity running. When we go to school, most schools in the world are created and operate through a system of worthiness. So as soon as we go to school, our worth is challenged, and now we spend the rest of our lives proving our worth. And this is something else that we will talk about in later classes. Once a program is installed into our subconscious minds, like the worthiness program, like the depression program, like the fitting in program, it runs automatically. And this explains thoughts that just randomly come up about scarcity and not enough and worthiness and all the other limiting thoughts and beliefs that you have. The good news is programs can be turned off. And again, we are going to explore this at length. What I would like to share with you is something that had a huge impact on my life and my family's life. Several years ago, I discovered this idea that I call living above the line. Now, if you have a piece of paper and a pen in front of you, I invite you to draw a line, and on top of the line, right above the line, and below the line, right below the line. Above the line, all the way above the line, is living the awakened state. The line and everything above the line is some experience of awakening. Below the line is asleepness, and the further down you get, the more asleep you are. For most of us, we hover somewhere around the line. We're above the line, beneath the line, above the line, beneath the line. So when we feel good and we are experiencing some degree of joy and love, we are above the line. When we are feeling bad and experiencing some degree of fear, we are beneath the line. This includes judgment, negative thinking, everything that goes along with that. There is no doubt where you are at any given time because you have an inner guidance system that will tell you. When you feel good, you're above the line. When you feel bad, you're beneath the line. It's that simple. We have control over where we are at any given moment simply by the thoughts we think, and not just the thoughts we think, but the thoughts that we believe. If you want to rise above the line, you focus on thoughts that make you feel good. Thoughts that make you feel bad will automatically drop you beneath the line. Our natural state of beingness is way above the line. This is just what, if we were to just forget everything, just to let go, like a cork you're holding underwater, if you let that go, you would just rise up and live above the line. We keep ourselves beneath the line. We keep ourselves asleep by the thoughts that we think on a daily basis, by the things that we give our energy and focus to. This is really good news, because if we can become aware of what those thoughts and things are, then we can shift that, and we can automatically and effortlessly rise above the line and awaken at even greater and greater heights. It is important to understand what keeps you below the line and what allows you to rise above the line. And this again is life speaking to you every moment of every day and showing you where you're asleep and where you're awake. And it's all just wonderful feedback. Even if you don't like it, it's still great feedback. From the awakened state, you use that feedback to further your awakening. From the awakened state, you use that feedback to further your awakening. And that is the point. When we are living above the line, a common denominator is being connected to who we really are. When we are below the line, a common denominator is not being connected to who we really are. This is key. Our connection to self, to our true and real self, is key to awakening. We are each at different stages of awakening, but a key to any stage of awakening is connecting to who you really are. The eternal self that is pure love and goodness is always there and present for you. This self is powerful and creative consciousness itself. There's nothing that you can do to compromise this self. It is eternal, and it is who you really are, despite the masks that you put on that make you forget who you really are. Most of the problems and issues in our lives are a result of the disconnection to who we really are. You see, the connection to who we really are is natural. And again, if you can completely let go, you would automatically connect to yourself. Spiritual knowledge, as wonderful as it is no replacement for this connection. So you can have all the spiritual knowledge and maybe it's not working. You know, why isn't it working for you? And it is likely not working because you lack that connection to self. The connection to self is key. All the knowledge is gravy. The connection is key. Most of us operate in a perpetual state of disconnection to who we really are. Call that higher self, source self, true self. Many of the challenges and issues in our lives could be resolved by simply getting connected and staying connected. Of course, we wouldn't be alive if we weren't connected at some level, but there's a big difference between minimal connection and full connection. When we are fully connected, we are aligned with something greater than us, and we are in sync with the natural rhythm of the universe. When you are connected to the source of who you really are, you know it, because life flows with ease and grace. You create what you desire, and you are joyful, peaceful, and infinitely abundant. Everything in your life is a direct result of being connected or not connected. The less connected you are, the harder it is for the universe to answer your hopes, dreams, and prayers. This is not because you're less deserving. You are always deserving, but rather because you are not plugged in and energy cannot flow. Therefore, what you desire cannot manifest in your life. Manifestation is the flow from thought to thing. Manifestation is the flow from thought to thing. The more connected you are, the easier thoughts can flow into things. In other words, the easier and quicker the universe can gladly deliver your dreams to you. You have innate control of this connection. It's not random. You are the captain of your ship, and you can consciously create choices on a moment-to-moment basis that either connect you or disconnect you. If you haven't been living a connected life at first, it may feel extremely uncomfortable or challenging to get connected, but that's only because you're not accustomed to it. But keep going. After a while, disconnection from who you really are will be so obvious and uncomfortable that it will stop you, and you will stop everything in order to get connected. Many of us understand this connection, and we do things like meditation, yoga. There's a whole list of things that we do, breath work, all wonderful, but we put it aside. We make it less important. One of common excuses: I don't have time. I don't have time to get connected to myself. But this is like saying, I don't have time to find my car keys, so I'm going to walk 30 miles to work. Your connection to who you really are is the key to your full awakening and creating the life that you dream, desire, and deserve. Nothing is more important. This means that whatever it takes to get connected and stay connected is of the highest value in your life. From this space, you can create and attract whatever you desire. This is the grand state of awakening and creating through your consciousness. You might be wondering, what are symptoms that we're disconnected? Well, symptoms include fear, stress, overwhelm, worry, feeling unloved, unworthy, alone, basically any emotion that feels uncomfortable. Signs that you are connected include feeling exhilarated, creative, joyful, engaged, enthusiastic, peaceful, loving, and feeling really good for basically no reason at all. This is where you live above the line. This is what we all want. We all want to live above the line. And this means that our connection to who we really are is of the utmost importance and is key to not just feeling good, but to our full spiritual awakening. The more awake you are, the more you can consciously create your life. Let's talk a little bit about vibration. You might say that your human self has a vibration, and your awakened self or your higher self has a vibration. So there's the vibration where you are somewhere around that line, and there's the vibration that your higher self has way above that line. The thing is, your higher self will not come down to meet you. You can only connect with your higher self at this higher vibration. This means that you must rise up to meet your higher self. This means that you must rise up for full awakening. The lower your vibe, the lower your vibration, the more asleep you are, and the higher your vibration, the more awake you are. Ascension is simply going from low to high, ascending in frequency, ascending in vibration from asleep to awake. This time has often been referred to a time of ascension, But what this really means, we're not going to leave the body. We're going to be in the body. We're just going to have a higher vibration, and the planet at large is moving up on the vibration scale as well, so that we're all going to be living there. Many of the problems that we see in the world today is that this higher vibration's coming in, and we are not physically, emotionally, mentally, energetically prepared for the vibration. But it will happen. The vibration will win out. We will all wake up. The planet is awakening. There's a happy ending. And like I always say, if you know me, that if it's not a happy ending, the story's not over yet. There's always a happy ending, regardless of what it might seem. And the story is not just the story that is the moment between your birth and the moment of your death, the time between your birth and the time of your death. It is forever and ever, and there's always a happy ending, and many, many happy endings within the greater scope of the happy ending. It's important to understand in relation to vibration that there is a direct correlation between your vibration and how connected you are. When you're disconnected, your vibration is low, while the more connected you are, the higher your vibration. Intentionally raising your vibration is a powerful way in which to get connected and wake up. I can't say this enough. You might wake up on one level, but if your vibration is still low, then it's going to create problems in your life. Awakening, the greatest awakening that comes with ease, is moving up that vibrational scale, which always encompasses the physical, mental, emotional, all those spectrums, including the heart, and especially the heart that we spoke of early. If you were to reverse engineer human vibration, you would observe that our vibration is affected by our emotions, and our emotions are precipitated by our thoughts. Therefore, you might say that our thoughts influence vibration. This is the best news ever, because our thoughts are really the only thing that we have any control over. Regardless of what it might seem, your thoughts are the only thing that you have any real control over. Since you cannot think negative thoughts and have a positive vibration, the first call to action is mastering your mind. We've all heard the expression mind over matter. It's all mind over matter. If you don't consciously master your mind, there's these automatic programs that are growing and growing. You can turn these programs off at any time and take command over your life by mastering your mind. And once you do, then you possess mind over matter. Your power to think and your discernment in what thoughts to believe give energy. Give energy to whatever it is that you are focused on. In other words, whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're believing, you're giving energy to it, and this is what's giving it consciousness, and this is what is allowing it to manifest in your life and in the world. Again, the one and only power that you have is the power of focus, the power of mind, the power of thinking. Fortunately, this is also the only power that truly makes any difference. Thoughts are not things until you believe them. It is up to you to believe thoughts that support you and release thoughts that keep you asleep. I understand from first-hand experience it's hard to let go of negative thinking. I totally get it. But there's nothing of greater value, and if I could do it, you can do it. It might be helpful to understand that one thought or series of thoughts that you keep thinking over and over again, the ones that are running the show. For example, maybe it's about judgment. Maybe there's a series of negative thoughts that you can group together and choose to eliminate. For example, judgment includes thoughts of anything that you're pushing away. Judgment excludes, rejects, pushes away. It's a quick method for disconnection from who you really are. Sometimes we use judgment to motivate ourselves or others, but it's ineffective because it actually demotivates you. And you cannot be motivated when you are not connected. So any thoughts of judgment are not serving you on your path to awakening. Any thoughts of judgment are not serving you on your path to awakening. This doesn't mean that you can't use discernment to support your path. Absolutely. There's a big difference between discernment and judgment, and we will talk more about that too as the weeks go on. Emotions, once again, are the key. They are our inner guidance system. Emotions can take us from a low vibration to a high vibration. They can take us from a asleep state to a awake state. The asleep state is based on fear-based emotions. The awake state is based on love-based emotions. Your emotions will always tell you if you're going in the right direction or the wrong direction, towards love and awakening or towards fear and being asleep. You might ask yourself, what emotions am I addicted to? Frustration, anger, jealousy, maybe even confusion. There are always thoughts and beliefs that create these feelings. So the feelings are the key, your inner guidance system, but they always trace back to the thoughts and the beliefs. And this process will allow you to determine what thoughts you are addicted to and begin to release those. We have an ego program that runs the show. The ego program can be, I don't want to say turned off because it can support us, but the ego program can be reprogrammed by consciously choosing thoughts that support you. So instead of listening to thoughts of unworthiness and depression and fitting in and all those negative thoughts and stories, that you turn your attention away from them, and as you do, you begin to turn off the ego program. I want to be clear, this is not about accepting your thoughts. This is not about this is about allowing this process of unfoldment. This is about being the watcher of your thoughts and turning your focus on thoughts that support you and turning your focus away from thoughts that don't support you. But I also want to add, for years, I used this process of thought discernment, and I would turn my attention away from negative, disempowering thoughts and turn my attention to positive, empowering thoughts, and that did a tremendous amount to support me turning my life around and creating what I really wanted to create. But what I discovered is that if you really want to wake up, you must let go of all your thoughts. You must stop believing all your thoughts, because no thoughts are true. No thoughts are true. And if you are still believing thoughts, those thoughts are keeping you asleep. So you might wonder, well, if I don't believe any of my thoughts, how do I live my life? Well, when you practice this for a little while, you discover that if you're not believing your thoughts, that something else comes into play. This higher consciousness begins to live through you. It's no longer your thoughts that are running the show. It's this higher consciousness that is you, and it is directing you through your intuition, through your energy, through your knowingness. And this is the point. This is the awakened state. From the awakened state, you still have thoughts, but you use your mental thought process in order to support you on your journey, instead of your thoughts controlling your journey. So instead of the mind being the master, the mind becomes the servant as you master your mind. You might have heard that it's about moving from head to heart, and that's absolutely true, because the divine speaks to us through our hearts. But I would say that it's even more than that. It is the heart, but it's also a grander knowing of self. It's a grander experience of life speaking to you and through you. And that is the point. So we go back to, the fear of, will I disappear if I wake up? No, absolutely not. In fact, from the awakened state, you become more of who you really are. You don't become less, you become more. It's important to understand the difference between growth and awakening. Many of us have focused on growth for a long, long time, months, years, decades, but there's a difference between growth and awakening. So growth will get you to the door of awakening, so using all your experiences as opportunities to grow, but in order to truly wake up, you need to leave all that behind. It's the expression of, you have to leave everything at the door in order to get through the door. You may have heard that in spiritual books or spiritual teachings. And what that means is that whatever strategy got you to the point of being at the threshold of awakening is not going to get you through the door. Awakening requires a complete letting go. This is where the idea of detachment comes from, that we detach from our lives and from everything. And I'm going to simplify it for you. It's really about detaching from our thoughts. It's really about not believing our thoughts. Because what happens is, if you don't believe your thoughts, then all those things in your life that you detach to, suddenly they become disentangled with you. And your baggage is lessening, and your burden is lessening, and you're getting lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter, hence rising up naturally above that line towards the awakened state. The key is letting go. I studied spiritual awakened beings for many, many, many years. The one common denominator that I discovered amongst all awakened beings was that right before they woke up, they had a process of letting go. Every single one of them, letting go, letting go. So they may have even Buddha under the Bodhi tree. Every single spiritual being, Osho, every single one of them, they had an experience of letting go. And for many of them, it was because their experience, their journey, wasn't getting them anywhere. They just got so far and they gave up. They just gave up, like, this is it. I don't know what else to do. And in that process of giving up, letting go, they awoken. They awoken. And so, if there was a shortcut to awakening, this is it. It would be to practice letting go of your thoughts. Because if you can let go of your thoughts, you can let go of everything. If you can let go of your thoughts, you will begin to just effortlessly wake up, regardless of what your spiritual practice is. Even meditation. The core of meditation is about letting go of thoughts. That's the purpose of meditation in regards to awakening. There's other forms of meditation. But if you're meditating to wake up and connect to yourself, your true self, it's really about letting go of the thoughts. We have about 5 minutes left, and I would like to guide you on a beautiful meditation for a few minutes of that time. And before that, I'd like to share an invitation to do some homework to help support you on our journey to awakening. I invite you to make a commitment to living above the line for the next 12 weeks that we'll be together. To becoming aware where you're at any given time, and knowing for yourself what it takes to live above the line. What you do in your life, the activities you participate, introducing more fun, becoming more lighthearted, breathing more, letting go. Whatever it takes for you to feel good in your life will allow you to live above the line. And this also means letting go of all those things, and especially thoughts that drag you down. And you're not going to do it all at once. It's a process. It's a process. But if you can commit to living above the line for the next 12 weeks, you will have the opportunity for a transformation in your life, because it takes a period of time of living above the line for something to click in. So if you can commit to this for the next 12 weeks, I think you'll be surprised at what you will experience. I also invite you to become aware of that one thought about yourself or the world that if you released would allow you to feel better. That one thought. It might be a series of thoughts. What is that one thought or series of thoughts that if you released it would allow you to rise up? I'd also like you to ask yourself, what is that one pivotal shift that if you made, your whole life will change? Did something immediately come to mind that you just dismissed? There's a reason that it popped into your mind as that question was asked. And breathe. And breathe. If we just follow the breath in a state of awareness, that awareness allows us to awaken. About an hour ago, we began with the light coming in from the cosmos into our body. And I'd like you to once again focus on that sunlight way up in the cosmos that knows you, knows your name, and whose attention is directed upon you now. And notice as you become conscious of this grand light in the universe that it is even closer to you and more focused on you as you invite it in. And once again, imagine that it comes down through the cosmos, through our atmosphere, through the crown of your head, and this light moves down through your whole body as fast and as slow as it desires. And just be witness to this. Be witness to this beautiful light of love and kindness, this beautiful light of love and beauty, this beautiful light of love and grace to flow through you. And it has the ability to heal and to move energy in your body and to align you with that which it is, that which you are, which is love and light. And as you are witness to this beautiful love, this beautiful light moving through your body from head to toe, and also grounding you to Mother Earth, and Mother Earth's love and light coming up through the soles of your feet and moving into every cell in your body. Every cell in your body is now vibrating with the love and light of the universe and the love and light of Mother Earth. And breathe into that. Deep breaths. And as every cell in your body is filled with this love and light, I invite you to place your awareness on your heart and notice how this love and light fills your heart. Now you may notice that there are some shadows or dark places in your heart that the light is not reaching, and that's okay. What I'd like you to do is just imagine with your mind's eye that this love and light move down into those shadowy areas of your heart. And as light melts with darkness, darkness always becomes light. Always. And you may even notice that as your heart begins to fill with even more love and light, as any shadowy areas of your heart are healed with love and light, that your heart is saturated with love, saturated with light, and it overflows into the rest of your body, saturating your body with even greater love and light. So much so that every cell in your body is vibrating with a higher frequency. Every cell in your body is love and light. And this transformation of moving into higher vibrations is natural and effortless. Your body, your mind knows how to regulate it, and you can trust that. There's no reason to force. Just watch. Your mind and your body know exactly how to navigate. Your mind and body know exactly how to raise your vibration and support your awakening. Just as the blood flows through your veins on an automatic system, your heart beats, you breathe. This process of awakening is also effortless and automatic. You must only allow it. And the best way to allow it is simply let go. In this moment, it's safe to let go of everything. It's safe to be here with me now. It's safe to allow this love to fill you and to be you, because you are this love. You have always been this love, and you will always be this love. It is my divine pleasure to be with you here on this sacred journey to awakening. I'm so blessed to be able to spend this time with you, and I welcome you to email me and to contact me and let me know your experience and how I might support you. I can't wait till next time. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. I love you all. Goodbye for now.